Okay, I've just finished watching WWF's Summerslam 1997 pay-per-view, and I thought when is a better time to review a show than when you've just finished watching it. So I thought, yeah, let's crack on with it. In front of me on my laptop screen, I've got the Survivor Series, SummerSlam 97 card on Wikipedia. So here we go. The attendance was a record attendance for the arena. It was 20,213 in the Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford. That's a mouthful, isn't it? East Rutherford in New Jersey. Obviously, this pay-per-view was in America. They were going back and forth from Canada a lot, I've noticed, during this time on the Raws and in the pay-per-views. They do like a Raw in Canada, then one in America, then one in Canada, then one in America. They're really like taking advantage of the Bret Hart storyline in the end. At the end of his WWF run, and they really knew, right, this is our last chance to capitalise on Bret Hart because he'll be leaving the company soon, so let's continue going to Canada, let's get business high there, let's get as much money as we can from them, because we know we're not going to be able to draw as well without him. So they did quite well in that respect. Right, so let's get into the card. First match was a cage match between Triple H and Chyna. Now first of all, let me say about this entire card, it seemed to be just a show full of botched endings. In this match was a decent match. The Triple H Mankind feud was pretty good. They'd fought at King of the Ring. They may have fought at Canadian Stampede, although I can't remember. I do remember them fighting outside the ring, like throughout the rest of the pay-per-view. I can't remember if they had a match though themselves on that card. But yeah, this match is okay. At the end, it was sort of spoiled because Mankind was trying to escape the cage by climbing over the top. And what was supposed to happen was Mankind would climb over the top, and when he was on the outside of the cage but still holding on, he'd think, you know what, no, I'm going to live out my childhood dream, because they'd shown like the evolution of Mick Foley as a person, how he wanted to be Dude Love when he was younger, and how he became Mankind in the WWF, and they've been showing these in like little promo videos over the last 2 months or so on Raw. So they had Mankind take the mask off, throw it back in the cage, and maybe into the crowd. Then he climbed back up. He did the Superfly Jimmy Snuka splash at the top, and before he did that, he ripped off his shirt to show that he had like a Jimmy Snuka, like sort of a motifed thing under his shirt. So that's what was supposed to happen. But what happened in the end? What actually happened was Mankind is climbing out, and then Chyna comes in the ring and starts to drag Triple H out of the cage door, and you can tell something isn't right, because like she's trying to drag Triple H, but she sort of like doesn't know what to do because she's not doing it, and Triple H is like not moving. So she sort of moves, and then I'm like, what is going on here? What a stupid ending this is. Chyna looked really green in this, and like she had a bump off the cage, like off about 3 feet in the air, that she just didn't sell at all, really. That really annoyed me. And yeah, I was a fan of Chyna until I'm watching this stuff back. I'm like, she's not that good, is she? And with the recent stuff she's done in her, well, personal life, it's sort of a business decision what she's done. I wouldn't bring her back into wrestling. But yeah, that's off the topic. Basically, so Chyna's trying to drag Triple H out, and then all of a sudden she decides, no, I'm not going to bother, then walks out the cage. Then Mick Foley climbs back on top of the cage, does the Snuka splash. The match continues on for like a couple of minutes or so, and then Mick Foley climbs back out, and they do the same thing again. This time Mick Foley, as he's climbing out, she starts to drag Triple H out the cage, but Mick Foley comes outside first. And I was thinking, what's the point in like trying to drag Triple H out the cage if he's not going to end up beating Mick Foley out the cage? And secondly, the fact that she botched it the first time just really annoyed me, and I was like, this show's not got off to a good start. But the match was okay, it was a decent cage match, but a cage match to start the show is not, I want to put it to start, so, but never mind. Right, second match, Goldust versus Brian Pillman. Now the stipulation in this match was that if Brian Pillman lost, he'd have to wear Marlena's dress until he won a match. That's the stipulation that says it here on Wikipedia. I just thought the stipulation was that he had to wear it once on Raw the next week, but whatever. So in the match, sort of Goldust does like a sunset flip over at the end of the match. Again, the match was a bit lame. Brian Pillman was injured at the time. It was the end of his career. This was probably his last ever pay-per-view match that he ever did, which was quite sad. But yeah, Pillman was a good worker, but towards the end of his run, when he had his hurt ankle, and I think his ankle was broke at the time, and he wasn't as good as he could have been, and this match is okay. Yeah, so Goldust does like a sunset flip over Brian Pillman, and like he's like got Pillman's legs, and Pillman's like stood over him, and like he's trying to pull Pillman down. And then they botched this ending where they're not close enough to the ropes, because what's going to happen is Marlena's going to hit Pillman with like her bag, which has supposedly got a brick inside it. That's what we think. She's supposed to hit Pillman with it, and then Pillman's supposed to go flying backwards, and Goldust gets the pinfall for the win. Now that's what happened, but because they weren't close enough to the ropes, they had to dally around for like a minute, and they just looked really awkward and really cringe. We'd be like, oh come on, you're pros, you can work your way around this, we don't really need to see that shot. But it's just overbooking. You could probably tell that most likely Vince Russo booked this stuff himself. This was the time that he was booking WWF, wasn't it? But yeah, not complaints, not too many complaints about this basically. But again, another match that had a ruined ending. Then we had the Legion of Doom versus the Godwins. Now I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the Legion of Doom were such bad wrestlers, and basically this storyline leading up to this was that the Legion of Doom had broken Henry Godwin's neck, and I think that was a legitimate neck break. It was on a Shotgun Saturday Night where they hit the Doomsday device, and basically Henry Godwin landed on his neck, broke his neck. He was out for a period of time, and then they'd come back to the WWF once he was healed fully. I don't think he was out for that long, to be honest. Maybe like 6 months or something like that. Maybe not even that long, even though he had a broken neck. So yeah, they come back and they start attacking the Legion of Doom. They cost them the tag team titles a few times. So then this time they had a match, and then the LOD finally beat them. Again, nothing really of note to say about this match. It was okay. Altogether, this card is totally missable in all honesty. Although it's quite memorable from a historical standpoint, but not in terms of a fan standpoint of wanting to watch this again. If I watched this at the time, I'd probably just have been a bit like, this show wasn't that great. In fact, I probably did watch it at the time. I just don't remember watching it. I remember specifically watching Bad Blood, which is 2 pay-per-views away, and that was my favourite pay-per-view of all time when it happened. But that's, again, I'll get to that. That's 2 pay-per-views away. Next up we had an 8-man tag match, Los Boricuas versus Disciples of Apocalypse. Basically, again here, I've said basically a lot. I apologise if you're new to my videos. Bear with me here. So it's a 4-on-4 match, and what had happened in the recent storyline is that the Nation of Domination split up. Farouk had fired Savio Vega, and he'd fired Crush, and then Crush went to form the Disciples of Apocalypse. Savio Vega went to form the Los Boricuas, who were like a Puerto Rican gang, and the Disciples of Apocalypse like a biker gang, like a all-white gang. This match is okay. Halfway through the match, the Nation of Domination come through the crowd and stand outside, and it all just descends into chaos. And I can't remember how they got the win, even though I just watched. This match probably finished about an hour ago, and I don't remember what the ending was. But yeah, the Los Boricuas won. Next up, we got a very memorable match. It was I've missed one out here. I've missed out Ken Shamrock defending his European title against the British Bulldog defending his European title against Ken Shamrock. The Bulldog won by DQ. I think he'd brought a chair into the ring or something like that, and then Shamrock hit him with a chair. Again, this happened just like an hour ago, and this is totally forgettable. Shamrock goes crazy at the end of the match and starts beating up all the WWE officials who've come down to like break up the fight at the end of the match. The stipulation was that if the Bulldog lost, he'd have to eat dog food. They'd done like a little segment on Raw a few weeks back where basically all the members of the Hart Foundation who were wrestling on this card basically said, oh well, if I lose I'm going to do this. Oh, okay, in that case if I lose I'm going to do this. And it looked really cheesy and like just like they could have done it a lot better. Poor booking, but on the grand scheme of things, the product was really good at the moment, so these little poor booking decisions doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because the entire product was really good at the time. So yeah, next up we've got the WWF Intercontinental title match. Stone Cold Steve Austin going against the champion Owen Hart. Now if Austin lost, he would have to kiss Owen Hart's ass, I presume on Raw the next night. Now we all know what happened here. Well, I'm presuming everyone knows what happened here. It's very famous. Towards the end of the match, it was a decent match. Okay, nothing spectacular. This card was very forgettable. Well, the ring work was very forgettable, apart from this one thing that happens in this match. Owen Hart gets Austin up for a power drive, and it's sort of like a tombstone pile driver, set up a tombstone pile driver, because they're sort of like facing each other, like they're not both facing the same way, they're both facing each other, so like a 69 sort of position. And yeah, but instead of doing like a tombstone onto his knees, Owen Hart decided to do it sit down, and like Austin's head went under Owen Hart's legs. Sorry about that. Hit the mat directly. All that pressure goes down onto your neck. Broke his neck, legit. So then Austin couldn't move. You could tell the commentators were like, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do now?" Owen Hart then just like panders to the crowd. It just looked very, very awkward. He didn't know what to do. Obviously, like, you're not used to having this like your opponent break the neck during the match, especially when your opponent's supposed to beat you, and if he doesn't beat you, he's got to kiss your ass. Imagine if this was a regular match. Owen could have sort of pinned him and just been like, okay, this guy's got a broken neck, I'll pin him and I'll get the win. But because Austin was supposed to win and supposed to win the title, and if he didn't win, he'd have to kiss his ass. It's sort of a bit insult to injury to like break the guy's neck and then for the guys to have to come out and kiss your ass afterwards on TV. That'd be very like a massive like insult to injury, wouldn't it? But for lack of a better word. So yeah, Austin ends up getting a win by a very cheap roll up, and then one thing I don't understand, and this is a very stupid thing from Austin. I understand that he wanted to be seen as a tough guy and legit, but he's broken his neck. People came down to help him to the back, and he was trying to walk by himself. And I was just watching it like, it's just stupid. I understand wanting to like be manly and be like show your masculinity and be a tough guy and all that stuff, but like, he just was stupid, and he probably did more damage to his neck the fact that he tried walking by himself. But yeah, Austin won the IC title there. Then we had the WWF title match. The Undertaker to defend his title against Bret Hart. If Bret Hart didn't win, he'd never wrestle in the United States ever again, with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. This was a good match. Best night of the card, which was quite rare for WWE, which is always quite rare for any wrestling company really, for the main event to be the best match of the card. But yeah, this was the best match of the card. The ending happened. The ending came when Bret Hart hits the Undertaker with a chair when Shawn Michaels isn't looking. The storyline going into it was that the main storyline was between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. It was well, it's been written about all over the place, and everyone spoke about it. The Montreal Screwjob and everything, which happened about 3 months away from this pay-per-view. How these two guys legitimately hated each other, and there's a time in the match when they both stood next to each other, and I thought, what an awesome tag team these would have made if they ever teamed up, just for a one-off on Raw or something back in the day. How awesome it would have been, but I don't think they ever did. If they ever did, please like let me know down here so I can go dig that match out. But I don't think they ever did, which is quite disappointing. But yeah, so Bret and Shawn had this like little rivalry going on. So Bret, for some reason Shawn Michaels is out outside the ring, or down outside the ring. Bret Hart hits the Undertaker with a chair, covers in, Michaels gets back in the ring. 1, 2, Undertaker kicks out at the last second. Wow, Undertaker's kicked out of a steel chair. Jerry Lawler's like, oh my god, he must be superhuman. How did he kick out of that? Then Bret Hart starts working away at Undertaker again. Shawn Michaels sees the chair and he picks it up and he goes, hey, what's this all about, this chair? Bret's like, nothing, go away. And then he starts pounding on Undertaker again. Shawn gets hold of Bret again and says, oh, what's this about? As Undertaker steps up behind Bret, Bret spits in Shawn Michaels' face, and you can just tell that Bret Hart loved to spit in Shawn Michaels' face, and he thought, I'm guessing he would have been well up for that, and that he really enjoyed doing that just because he hated Shawn Michaels so much. And it is a degrading thing to spit in somebody's face, isn't it? So yeah, Bret spits in his face, then Shawn goes, oh fuck this, winds up, smart hits him with a chair, but it's not Bret. Bret's moved out of the way and he's hit the Undertaker. Bret straight away covers the Taker. Shawn Michaels has to pin him, because if he doesn't, then he said he'd retire or something like that, or never have another title match. So then Shawn 1, 2, looks up at Bret, 3, goes out the ring. Oh fucking hell. Hart Foundation come in, celebrate. Bret Hart is your new champion now. What do you think of the show? Have you seen the show before? I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen the show. What did you think of it? What do you think of the Steve Austin neck break? Because that neck break directly influenced the rest of his career, and the fact that he had to retire as early as he did because of his neck was in such a bad position. Now we always talk about, oh, Austin's next match, will Austin ever have that one last match? For the longest time people said no, he'll never have that next match because his neck's in such a bad position, such bad shape. Austin's come out recently and said that he could have that last match if he wanted to, and he could have 1 or 2 more matches. His neck could hold it up. But what do you think of this entire card? Do you think that the stuff that was going down was good at the time? Because some people might not have been happy with it. Like, I remember seeing stuff like the IWC back in the day, seeing little forum posts from, like, I've just seen it recently, someone had just linked me to an old forum site, with people like slating the old Attitude Era and like, oh, this stuff's rubbish, Rock does this, all he does is this, Austin does this, all he does is this, and it makes me laugh at, like, it just shows that us wrestling fans, we complain about everything, don't we? And even I'm going back over this Attitude Era card here, SummerSlam 97, and picking holes in it and saying what a bad show it was, but it was a bad show in all honesty. So yeah, let me know what you thought of the card. Let me know what you thought of the show. Let me know what you thought of this review. If you like this video, please click the subscribe button up there. Spread the word. Let people know about my channel if they don't know already. And yeah, please comment below. I'm really interested to know what you say, what you think of this card, what you think of this review, etc, etc, what you thought about wrestling at the time, what you think about wrestling now, what do you think of the differences between wrestling then and now, because this is the whole reason why I do these videos. I don't do them just because I want to sit here and talk to this camera by myself. I do them because I want to know what other people think of these things that I've been watching, and I want to watch things and then tell people what I thought and then see what they think, and then go back and forth, bit of banter, etc. But yeah, with that I'm out. Thank you very much for watching.